Okay, and it's time to move on to the main part of the event, and that is the panel discussion. Okay, so with the theme of everyone can be a change, the panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Engineering Niki Prastomo. Let me introduce you to Mr. Niki Prastomo, or who is usually called by Mr. Niki. Okay, this is a little bit information about Mr. Niki. Niki believes that education is vital for an individual's self-development, especially when it is delivered in fun and playful ways, particularly for children. Formally trained as a physicist, Niki is experienced in the academic environment, having served as a researcher and lecturer. Currently, he holds the position of Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Informatics at Multimedia Nusantara University, or the UMN, and also teaches in the Physics Engineering Department. So please, Mr. Niki, time and screen is yours. Give
Thank you very
applause
much,
to Mr.
Dea.
Niki.
Thank you, Dea. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion. So I would like to thank you, all the participants that already come to our Zoom meeting tonight. I'm thrilled to be your moderator for this inspiring dialogue where small actions can spark monumental transformation. Everyone can be a change. Well, before we start the discussion, I want to get some insight from you about change. In the chat box, there's a link in which you can access, and it will direct you to Slido. And then there will be a question there that we want to all of you to share to us, share your thought. What does change mean? Our theme in tonight's theme is everyone can be a change. So I would like to ask for you to you first. What does change mean to you? Use just only one word. Please share your thought within using one word. What does change mean to you? You have around maybe 30 seconds. Yeah. So please feel free to use your handphone and then scan the barcode, or you can just click the link at the chat box using one word only. What does change mean to you? Okay, we have some already, or participant already provide their thoughts. We have transformation, we have growth, we have movement. Oh, this is the big one, movement. Okay, different, almost. Okay, wow. Okay, thank you, all of you, for giving us your thought about what does change means. This is, we have three. Oh, no. Growth is the largest font size, means that most of you, a lot of you provide the information that change means growth. Well, thank you. Oh, we still have some input already. Fun, happiness, non-perfection, destroy, movement. Okay, the most common word is the growth. Well, I'm from a material engineering. In my perspective, for me, change is modification. It involves altering or modifying something from its current state. Yeah, my basic is in physics. So in my previous jobs, it was related for self-cleaning glass. We have we try to design, we try to develop a glass surface that can clean itself. So just put water in it, and then it will bring all the dust on the top of the surface of the glass. So it applied for building windows. So due to the rain, the windows will just clean it by itself. So it will save the maintenance cost. This is my previous works. So to obtain this function of the surface glass, we need to modify. We need to design and control the process of the glass process, manufacturing process. with simple technology, we try to utilize all the technology, the ceramic treatment, all the compound. We try to develop it. So with this analogy, if we look more broadly, then the change basically can produce something that provides benefits, in my perspective. So by designing and controlling the change, we can navigate the transition more effectively, and hopefully we can contribute to positive transformation. Well, now I would like to start to introduce all of you, our panelists. Each of them will bring a unique perspective, and also I'm eager to hear their insight on how they can drive positive change in their communities. Our first speaker is Miss Dessy Aliandrina. She's a system designer. The spirit of wanting to build something drove her to design, education, and also entrepreneurship. She was trained formally in engineering and developed her understanding of people, technology, and also society through various courses. And Bu Dessy was the founder of the Sociopreneur ID. The second speaker is Mbak Mila. Oh, yeah. The second speaker is Mbak Mila Aliana. Bu Mila. She was the chief giver and also strategic advisor. Play, from her point of view, play is central to what Mila is excited about in work and life. It fosters community bonding, trust, and tolerance. Combine it with increasing creativity, diversity of connection, interaction, and also learning. She brings this playfulness to her current roles as Chief Weaver and Strategic Advisor at IEEE SA, and also co-creator of various pioneering initiatives. Our third panelist, or third speaker, is Edgard Gouveia Jr. Edgard believes that changing the world can be fast, fun, and without putting your hand in your pocket. He dedicates his career to mobilizing children, youth, and also adults by designing and applying virtual games, scavenger hunts, and also collective action that lead to small community revolution. He's the creator of Play the Call, an online scavenger hunt that challenges children and young people in real-world tasks and aims to engage 2 billion people to restore balance in the biosphere. And our fourth speaker is Clemens Graetsch. Clemens has a strong passion for dancing, education, and also play. Clemens already started to dance. At the heart of his professional endeavors lies the commitment to building meaningful relationships. He specializes in cultivating multi-stakeholder coalition that facilitate collaborative efforts among civil society, government, and also enterprises. Wow, okay. So we have 4 magnificent speakers. So I will start to have the discussion. My questions to all of the panelists: what does change mean to you? And why do you believe it's important for everyone to play a role in making the change happen? Okay, what does change mean to you? Bu Dessy, could you give us your first view about this change?
Okay, thank you so much, Niki. Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you here. Yes, for me, if we are talking about change, I think that many words already there in Slido, right? But what I want to show here, the change for me is not, sometimes we put the change in a really big concept. We thought that about something grande, extraordinary. But the fact is, the change is really something that sometimes we have it all the time in our life, because the thing that consistent is a change. That's from so when we say it, it's like how the evolution, how the transformation, how we grow, how every day, every minute, that's about the change. So for me, for myself, it's like when you're asking me about the change, that about how I'm getting better every time. It's not only about, I always say it's not only about moving forward. It's sometimes you only have to stand still. Sometimes you have to backward to see what's going on around you. It's even change. It's change is not meaning it's like you have to be in A to B all the time. But even when you stand still, you reflect on everything. It's also change you inside. When you go backward and then you see in your surrounding, you start to reflect and then what you have done, how you can make it better. That's also change yourself. So for me, it's like it's change is something that we have to understand. I mean, we have to embrace it as the way us to grow and live. So from then, why everyone can create a change? Because that's the nature of human being. We start from born as a baby and until we are today, we change. And there's no doubt that we changed already. But sometimes because we put the word change is so big, then we think we are not changing. But actually we changed already. So that's how we see the differences of things, not only things, but also us. Not only what we are doing, but also in our mind, our heart, and everything is like, so that's what we call it change. So for me, is it everyone is possible to create a change? Yes, because you are a proof that there is a change. Because you start from you born until you are today, you change constantly. So how you cannot say is change impossible because you are the evidence of the change itself. So that's what I'm thinking. Yes.
Thank you, Bu Dessy. Very nice. Yeah, so change is natural, right? The things that consistently happen is the change. So everyone can change, right? Thank you, Bu Dessy. Now I would like to go to Mbak Mila. Your thoughts?
Thank you. I think I'll start by just saying hello and welcome to everyone. But then I'm going to do this. That's already a change, and I did that in a second. So let's start with changes to build on what Desi said. Is really it's life. You can do that at any point in time. Even my eyebrows are changing every second. And that's how life is. Nature changes every second, millisecond, actually. So how can we work with that rather than completely ignore it as if it's to Desi's point, how is it like so overwhelming? But if you can see it as a normal process, behind me is the sea. It changes every single time the fishes are moving, the corals it's called evolution. We were evolving all the time. And there was something about growth and movement, and that movement and growth seems to be challenging, but actually it actually allows us to evolve further and further into what we are here for as humans. And so change to me is constant. Life, that is the one thing in life that you can guarantee is change. And why is this necessary? Because we are part of nature. We are nature. We are life. How do we accommodate to change in a way that is fun, that is pleasurable, that is evolving, that is movement, that is growth, and not something to be feared? Because change is also sometimes very challenging, such as a tsunami is a change, right? You lose a job or trying to get a job is change. One of your family dies or one of your family goes ill, that's a change. That's day-to-day life. How can we become resilient in accommodating to change? Thank you, Niki.
Thank you, Mbak Mila. So change can be scary, but it makes us more resilient. Thank you. Now we will have Edgar. Your thoughts, please.
Yes. Hi, everybody. So good evening for you. So change for me, like I love the comments that came before me. I try to build up on it. So, but change is something that I'm experiencing myself a lot now. I just came back from 3 weeks in Raja Ampat in Indonesia. That's why I use this background. So my whole community, my friends from all over the world, they are totally astonished by the pictures and the movies that I shared on my Instagram. But change is something that I experienced by myself. I just came back to Brazil, and it's so different. So my full body, even my soul, is trying to accommodate again into another reality. So first of all, my first reaction for change is something that I'm really experiencing right now and missing so much Rajanpat. So I want to go back as fast as I can. But I work a lot with this concept of change. And for me, the one of the points I want to add is change is related with so I believe that we all have two versions, at least two versions. Let's say one ordinary version and one extraordinary version. We all have superpowers, right? We have our day-by-day version, you know, the version that people knows about you. You're a good professor, you're a good husband or wife or student or kid, whatever. So this version that you are use it to yourself. But once in a while in our life, some things happen that out of nothing, the best version of yourself manifests beyond your will. Like sometimes you're used to give class, but that class that you gave that day, you know, or that singing when you came to the stage, that speech, or whatever, this work becomes something extraordinary. For me, change that I like most is a process of becoming the best version of yourself. Changes many things. We are sharing many different aspects, but the one that I love most is this amazing fact that we all have one version that is way beyond even ourselves. Okay, like who is this person? Who is talking here? Like, I'm not used to talk that way, right? But it's there, and it happens once in a while. So for me, change is a process in how can we become what we're supposed to be. We as individuals, we as community, and we as the community of life. Nature is trying to do it all the time. Somehow, and we all know, try to think that moment in your life where you found yourself shining. Not just you, the people around you say, what is that? What did you just say? Like, oh, your voice was amazing that time. Oh, you're looking so amazing. Like all the girls, all the boys it's coming to you like you're sharp, sparkling, you know? So that is something like that's supposed to be nature's, but to go back to the nature of life. Why that's important? Why I'm talking this aspect? Because we are all facing a moment in humanity, facing the planet, with a huge impact, huge like challenge for ourselves. The best way to deal with that, climate change, like radicalism, like violence, wars, or whatever, is us to becoming naturally what we came to be. I want to finish with that. I love the idea to have just 3 minutes. I want to finish with that. We all, the best version of ourselves is our personal gift. We all have one personal gift. And they say, the experts say, so people that are religious, they say that God, when you came to life, into life, God gave you a unique, a personal one. Could be that you're an amazing singer, like Michael Jackson, Beyonce. Or could be that amazing player. Could be that amazing listener, whatever, you know? So you have a personal gift. You have your personal gift. But many of us, we don't get it. But everyone around us, and your personal gift is there when you're a baby. You're a little baby, but you're already funny. Your whole family laugh about you, like because you're funny. You came to the planet to bring fun, joy for people. You came to the planet to bring beauty or calmness, right? So for me, the idea of change is how can we enable us to be the best version of ourselves? Because we are playing a game of economic, a game of capitalism, a game of family, a game of society, whatever, a game of war. But when we are able to play, to become, to transform, to turn our best version, then everything around us starts to sparkling. When you become yourself, people around them feel invited to become their own gift as well. And then nature comes to play with you. I experienced that in Rajanpat. That all nature, out of nothing, the best fishes come around you. Like, it's
Yeah.
not all the time, but when you are there in awe, come on, and then the fishes come, the turtles, even sharks, rajas, mantas, was incredible. So now I love Indonesia, but I think that all this beauty, how could the whole planet be so beautiful, so in harmony, so astonishing as Rajampat? Changes that for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Edgar. So change is a process of becoming the best of yourself. Very nice, Edgar. Thank you very much of your thoughts. Now, finally, Clemens, your thoughts, please.
Yes, so hello everyone. Selamat malam for everybody
Selamat
from
malam.
Indonesia.
Selamat malam.
Saya bisa sedikit bahasa Indonesia, but tonight I will talk in English because I'm
Okay.
still a learner. And yeah, what does change mean to me? I mean, even to just try to learn another language, to use another language here before people that I don't know so well, it's a change. And change can be, like we already heard, can be uncomfortable, And a lot of times we ask ourselves, okay, what does it mean actually to create change, to make change? And maybe some of you are familiar with the word change maker. So what does it mean? So change making is a skill, is a competency that we can all have to create change. And change can be very small. And tonight I would love to invite everyone to create change now in this moment, because we can talk about big visions. We want to change the education system. We want to change our school, our community, but we can actually start right now. And maybe it takes a little bit of courage. So I invite everybody that has not opened the camera, maybe it's now the moment to open the camera, because over the Zoom meeting, we can create a change and make this Zoom meeting very different from other Zoom meetings. We all know Zoom meetings can be very boring. People are talking, we are sitting there and listening, and then maybe we are getting tired. And now it's pretty late also in Indonesia. So let's try to change our state of being, try to use our body together. And how we can do that, it's very simple. So it's very simple to leave our comfort zone. So tonight, if we feel appreciation for something that we are hearing when somebody's sharing something, we can just show it like this. This is coming from sign language, and it means appreciation. It's like applause, but this is nicer because you're using your whole body, and you can really embody the appreciation that we are here in this community tonight. So we can actually be the change, embody the change. And this is what Be the Change is about, right? So we can start right now in this moment. And I think the last thing was why everybody is important to play a role in change making. I think, or I truly believe, that we need positive stories of the future. What is actually possible? And there are so many amazing new companies, new organizations, new communities that are showing that we can live in a new way. We can collaborate with life. We can collaborate with the planet. And actually, everybody is important. And when we create these new stories, when we share these new stories, we are getting more and more people, and other people that don't believe that another reality is possible, they will start to believe it because they will hear it more and more. So every little story is very, very important. So even when you are going out of this call today, you can just share something that really touched you from today's call, and you will change in this moment the perspective of the other person. And we have 50% in the world that are under 25 years old. So we have a lot of young energy on this planet. And when they are coming together to create change, and we will support them, then I think we have a lot of energy and a lot of potential to mobilize. And I learned, I was also in Indonesia some weeks ago, and I learned from the concept of gotong royong. So how can we create change together and mobilize society? So yeah, in this spirit, we need every hand to act together. This is for me to be the change.
Thank you, Clemens. Very nice. So, Dessy mentioned that change is natural, and then Mila mentioned that sometimes change can be scary, but it provides opportunity for us to become more resilient, and then why we have to change. Edgar and also Clemens mentioned that we are facing challenges, and then we are facing challenges, and then we need more positive story, we need more possibility, and with togetherness, and we can change, we can create the change, because yes, we can start it right now. Thank you, Bu Dessy, Mbak Mila, Edgar, and also Clemens. Now I will open a question session. You are very welcome to write down all your questions in the chat box. Do we have a question here? Okay. Oh, now some mention from Donny, the smiley guy. Donny asks, how do I conquer fear when I want to make drastic change in my life? For example, changing jobs or other big things, especially if the change not only impacts me but also my family. Maybe Mbak Mila, you mentioned about the resilience and the fear, scary thing.
Yes, I think sometimes the fear is necessary to actually do the first step. If you don't fear, then why change? So, yes, it does impact everyone, including ourselves. So, the first step is do a little bit of research. How is this impacting you? How is it impacting the family, the wider environment that you sit in? And just do the first step, because there's a saying in complex system, because we're always living in a complex system, that any entry point is an entry point to change, right? So it's not looking for perfection. Just do one thing, one little thing that is not so risky after you've done your research, like applying for jobs or changing jobs. Do a little bit of research, ask people, ask your family, go to your elders, get some feedback, get some guidance, and then do one little action that is very small risk. And also ask yourself, if you don't do that action, if you do nothing, what would impact you? Because doing nothing is also a change. It also will impact your family, will impact your job, your income. So have a look at the different options, but don't wait too long. Don't wait months or years. Do it in days. And just do one simple action, what is called adaptive action, because change is constant. It changes all the time. To understand what is available, what are the opportunities, and then it will inform you for the next step. That's basically what I would suggest anytime there's fear. Just do one little thing, because if it's too overwhelming, you won't do anything.
All right. Oh, thank you very much, Mbak Mila.
I think Edgar wants to add something.
Yeah,
I'd like
please.
to add something that I
Edgar.
like about that. One thing that's important could be another question. Mila was very precise, but another thing that could help is transforming the fear. Try to transform the narrative of fear, like it's risky, it's terrible, something weird gonna happen. Try to transform that same thing into an adventure. You know, an impossible mission. Remember when you were a kid, right? You have fear all the time. I have to climb this tree. I have to walk through that beach. I have to go out without my family, without my mom, right? It was always risky. But because you're young, you say like, you think about, okay, but it'll be really nice to go to the beach. I'm gonna be back. So you face that. If you face it with joy, with playfulness, and play is not just about smiling and nice. Play sometimes about exciting. You know, it's a roller coaster. Like they're just not always nice. So it's a risk. So transform your nightmare into an epic journey.
Wow.
You know, no matter what, into 1 month at most, I'm gonna have a most amazing job ever. And I have superpowers, super friends around me. I have the elders. So you have a community of life around you. If you invite them to support you into an impossible mission, they're gonna join way better if you invite them to support you into a problem. Don't invite your people to help you in the problem. Help you in the impossible mission. Then life turns something different. Kids usually do that. Try to go back to be kid.
To become a kid again. Okay, thank you, Edgar. Bu Dessy or Clemens, I think I will provide you for another question, okay? with the other question. Okay, thank you, Mila and Edgar. We have next questions. If you want to change the system, how do you plan the strategy for changing priority? Maybe Bu Dessy?
Okay. So like what Mila said, because it's a complex system, everyone you can enter to change everywhere. But for myself, it's like if I'm not thinking about the system and then make me fear to take actions. What I'm thinking is like there is always place that what we call it less effort point that I always see it because I have resources, I have networking. You have to understand who you are, what you have, and then with what you have and your networking have, and then what you can make, what you can create a small or baby step to create a change. Because like if okay, you want to eradicate poverty, that's a big mission. But then how you can how you will start to do that? If we sit here, we can talk so not only one night, we can talk 7 days just talking about how to eradicate poverty. But then what a simple and small step that you can try to do with your effort, with what you have. Okay, because I have limited time, I only have I don't have much resources. Maybe that okay, every weekend I will go to meet the street kids, and then I help them to. I give 1 or 2 hours of my time to teach them, to make them become more educated. The one that's maybe you cannot see the result directly. Maybe that's the first time. Maybe that's only the thing that you can do at the time. But once you work on it, and then you tell the story to other friends will involve with what you are doing, and one small step become bigger, and then you can make other people help how to educate the street kids. When you educate the street kids, they can get a better future rather than they just go around in the street. So what I mean in here, changing a system is not mean like you have all resources to make it change. It's not gonna to happen. But you have to understand with what you have, how you can make and how you can utilize all resources that you have, and then create a small step, just a small action. Because what we believe here in sociopreneur ID is a small act of kindness will create a ripple effect. But if there is no small step, it's not going to have a ripple effect. Then it means like you have to start first. Then it's not have to be big one. That's what yes.
Okay, thank you, Bu Dessy. Start with baby step, and then you do the research, you do the little action, baby step, you get the feedback, and then adaptive action, and then yeah, you tell stories, other will involve, and with that you can utilize all the community, all the ecosystem. Thank you, Bu Dessy. We have next question is, how do you see what doesn't change is the change itself? Maybe Clemens, any thought about that?
Can you repeat the question, please? I
Okay.
didn't understand.
What doesn't change is a change also. Something that didn't change is also a change.
Yeah, it's Clemens. It's basically what I said.
Oh
Doing
yeah, Mila. Okay.
is also a change. Go ahead, Clemens.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I would love to build the bridge about when we discussed about how to overcome fear. You know, because fear sometimes is blocking us, and I don't want to change something. I don't have the courage to do it right now. But actually, maybe I can tell a small story from Germany, because Germany is a culture where security is very important, you know, and people are a little bit afraid of change. So change is not a good thing always in Germany. So sometimes people are like, no, it's better to let things like they are and let's not change things. So I had a lot of resistance in my past of when I wanted to make a change, I didn't have the courage to do it. But then it was all about, yeah, doing the first step and enjoying that as a training to be able to relearn mistakes are a good thing, you know, because I think almost everybody here have been to school for a long time, right? Can you please raise your hand if you've been to school? And maybe it was not only for 5 years, maybe it was for 10 years or even for more than 10 years. And what do we learn in school? We learned that mistakes are not a good thing. Yeah. But life is functioning the other way around. Mistakes are the best thing that you can do because then you really learn something. Then afterwards you sit down and you reflect, okay, how can I do it the next time different? But in school, you need to do it perfectly because you only have one exam. And then afterwards, it doesn't matter if you adapt it. So in life, it's different. The next step then, oh, how can I do it differently? And then who can I talk to the next time? So it's very important when we want to create change that we just have the courage to do the first step, look out for people who also want to do change. And then step by step, you are building momentum and you have training partners. So I changed the story for myself that I'm telling myself, no, I'm not afraid of doing things anymore. It's just I'm looking for the best training partners to lower my fear step by step because we all have fear. Fear is part of life, but I use it now as a motivation to become better in my training, and together we will create momentum. And just a last example, today I was in a school and there was a teacher and she created amazing change in her school community, but now even the city government from Berlin, I live in Berlin, Germany, they are coming to her as a teacher and saying, how did you do that? We want to have that in the whole city. And today she just talked to me, she can't believe it because she just started 2 years ago and she was so afraid of making a change, but she implemented a project called to translate it as kind of the free day. So they have 1 day per week where the students can learn what they want. And it's according to the SDGs, to the Sustainable Development Goals. So they can go to their communities and create a change there. So they're working with homeless people, they are working with climate change stuff and very different creative stuff. And now 150 kids are doing this every week. So they are training together and they are becoming so good at it that other schools were coming, oh, what are you doing there? We also want to copy it. And now in the district where the school is, 5 other schools are already implementing that project. And now the state is coming and saying, how can we support other schools to do it more and more? So, and this is just one example of a courageous teacher. And she's very humble and like, yeah, it wasn't me, but it was her making this ripple effect that Dessy was talking about at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
I
ripple
just
effect, the moment. Okay, Mila.
Yeah, I just want to add because I just wanted to clarify again to Anwari because that his question was what doesn't change is the change itself. So to give an example to Donnie's earlier question, if I change jobs because it's impacting my family, maybe it's less income, maybe it's further away from my family, I have to go abroad. So if you don't do the change, that's already change itself because it will impact you and your family. Because maybe if you go abroad, there would be more opportunities. Maybe if you go for this higher job but riskier job, you have less income, but over time it will make you grow and it will impact your family in a more, I don't know, abundant way that you haven't seen, right? So if you do nothing, you will stay the same, but it will still
Right.
a change that
Yes.
is not necessarily aligned to your values or actually impacting your family. I don't know because change isn't bad or negative or positive or negative. It's just change. You make the choice what that change means. Either you do or you don't, or many different other options. I hope that answers Anwari's question.
Okay. Thank you, Mbak Mila. Okay, we have more question, but I think we can moving forward for the second discussion. Later, I will return to the question from the chat box. Our discussion, the second one is how can individuals use their unique talents and also their strength to start positive change? Previously, you all mentioned that we need to start small, but how can they start? And then what is the role of the education to the change itself? I will start with Edgard, please.
Yeah, thank you, Niki. So how can, for me, education, or for our experience here in Brazil, education or the school, let's start from school and then you go aboard to education, has the role of a stage, like a playful field. The playful field where our kids and our teenagers can train, for example, how to deal with change without fear. Somehow, our educational system nowadays bringing fear to the field in many countries. Hopefully, I know that in many places here in Indonesia, you're shifting that. Thanks God. But in many places, they are totally afraid of the exams. They are totally afraid of failing. They are totally afraid, So how can we create a playful field? I call it playful field, but pleasurable, exciting. For example, we know that. Hopefully, you all have the experience. Like when we were kids, we had the opportunity to play in the street, right? Outside, not just in playgrounds with fancy, but if you have the luck enough to be in the countryside or in the small town, then you and your friends, you go to the street, and come on, the street is danger. Like you have dogs that can bite you, like dogs from nowhere, or you have like stones. You have to climb trees. Like you face fear all the time. But the way that kids together, they relate with all those challenges out there is excitement, laughter, connection, support each other. They are learning all the time, overcoming. They are looking, if you're a parents, you know that they are looking for troubles. They're looking for problems. Like they're looking for, for hard stuff for them to play with that. Animals do the same thing. So how can school become, again, not a kind of jail system, a place that you have to be right all the time, otherwise you're going to be punished, or you're going to be bullied. So he created this whole system of everybody. There's so much tension that all the reactions is tension as well. We cannot just be playful kids. How can we turn school and as well the whole educational system, not just for, I'm talking about kids, but teachers, they have the same or even more tension over them. So how can we create a storytelling? And I know that Be the Change, that's why we all decided to say, let's collaborate. We are here, we join that. Because this Be the Change is how can we transform educational system into amazing adventure as beautiful as the Rajan part that I had. It's a lot of challenge to get there. It's a lot of challenge. I will tell you, paradise, but you pay the price to get there. But everybody from around the world go there and lives there totally astonishing. How can we transform educational system into the most beautiful adventure of the lives of our kids?
Okay. Thank you, Edgard. So making education system, making school become more pleasurable, more exciting, and also more adventures for the students to learn something there. Thank you, Edgard. We are moving to Clemens. Your thoughts on how the individuals use their unique talents and also the role of education?
Yes. And I was so excited before, so I was already sharing an example from the education system because I was just experiencing it today. So this was already one example that I shared. And I think because what Edgar just said is reminding me, I truly believe we all have one superpower in common. And this is our curiosity, our inner child, or if there's a concept for it, it's called Homus Ludens. So not the Homo economicus, we are rational beings, the Homus Ludens. So we are the playful being. So actually, This is the nature of human beings. So this is why we evolved over the last 20,000 years. It's our curiosity. It's our ability to create new stuff, to use our brain, to use our creativity. But to be able to use that creativity, we need to step out of the comfort zone, and we need to have this training and play field that Edgar was talking about. And so what I would recommend for all of us is, or as an inspiration, we can remind ourselves of this homus ludens inside of us, in our heart, in our body, and we can just try to, sometimes over the day, taking these glasses on. You know, we don't need to do it the whole day, but we can train every day just a little bit. It can be just 5 minutes, and you walk in your neighborhood like you never walked before, or a long time ago you walked like this before. You just take your glasses off. Oh, wow, this is amazing. Maybe you can just stop at a flower and look for the flower just for 2 minutes and breathe and really experiencing it. So try to see the abundance in the world. And if we train that, if we do this more and more, we can do this at work, at school. You can even do this in the bus or in traffic, you know. And then when we train our brain for abundance, for possibilities of change, then it will become more natural. And then we will see the playground, we will see the training field, you know. And you can create your own story, what helps you in your context. You know, I love this training thing. I don't know why. I love to play basketball when I was young, and I love to train things. So maybe this story is working for me with the training. I love to train to be more homus ludens again, to be more the playful being. And yeah, I think I would approach it like that.
Thank you, Clemens. So yeah, back to our inner child, curiosity, playful. We are have it in our body, right? In our mind, actually. Thank you, Clemens. Moving on to Bu Dessy.
Thank you, Niki. Oh, I will share one slide to you.
Okay.
I'm teaching in university, and this is, you can read this one. This is one assignment in my class. I'm asking the students to do, to challenge them to go outside the comfort zone. So this, my students here, he's with the piece here. So he did what he did. He did a small project to ask random people to do a little act of kindness, which is to buy a food from other people in need. Then, if you read the pause here, then he said this: I'm amazed on how they would take action without a second thought. It's always a blessing to know that there are still people who empathize to other people need selflessly, especially for marginalized community among us. So this is what educations can do to create a change. For myself, educator itself, we are not talking about teaching. What we are doing is like to let our students know who they are, what they're going to do, what is the purpose of life, how I'm going to use my life in this earth, something like that. So we cannot teach them, but we only show them the way. They will find the way. And then we are not going to, because we are, as a human being, as educator itself, we cannot find the best way to do that. But we can tell them, let them experience, provide method, provide a way how they can learn by themselves. So for me, it's like education itself is a way to let your students to know who they are. Once they know who they are, they know how to create a change, not only for them life, but also to other people and also this planet. So that's how the connections between educations and us and the change, that for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Dessy. Very nice. So, as an educator, we provide the opportunity for the student. Yeah? So, to be the change to learn by themselves, they get the experience. Thank you, Bu Dessy. Moving on to Mbak Mila.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just reflecting on this word education. So coming like the change, everyone has a different interpretation of a word. So I'd like to start with the word education itself. Education for me exists in each one of us, is not in a building. That basically each one of us is our teacher. So, and the nature around us is our teacher. Every individual on this screen is a teacher of mine. And this is what we don't understand. And that's where change happens too, because we're actually changing each other. Even from a neuroscience perspective, this is scientific, proven, that every time I talk, every time I share a story, you share a story, it changes my neural patterns, all my brain cells. Over time, that would change the way I think, the way I see the world. So I think education is a misnomer. It's basically, it's written like it's somebody else that's doing it, but actually we're doing it every single second. So how can you empower yourself? By intentionally doing things to educate yourself, whether it's talking to other people who has different perspective than you. And to Dessy's point, what are the different things that you can actually do? What is the head telling you? What is the heart? What's the feet and the hands asking you to do to educate yourself from another person? And often, without you knowing, you are also changing others through your role modeling. That has ripple effect, and there's so many examples. Clemens gave an example, Edgard gave an example. And this is, if we see something that isn't aligned to our heart, to our head, to our feet in action, like inequality or poverty, what can you do? One small thing. Rather than be overwhelmed by something that's so big, what is the one little thing that you can do? And sometimes it's just so simple. It's in front of you. Maybe just if there is somebody in your family that's not really, having access to abundance, how can you help them in a way that they have self-education, in a way that gives them opportunity, like Dessy said? So I would really be really careful what the definition of education is. And I'm qualifying from my bias experience. That's what I mean by education, because for me, every one of you, including babies, are my teachers, because we are teaching each other. We're mirrors of each other. We are mirrors of each other. And there's a quote in indigenous, in Alaska, Inuits, Alaska, you are my other self. And you can find that in South Africa, similar in Mexico. I don't know in Indonesia if they have that saying. When we greet each other, we say, you are my other self. Hello, my other self. And so for me, that is education. And my other self is not just human, it's also nature. And the point about, there was a question about how can we do change when other people don't, how can we tell that that person isn't wanting change just because it's not aligned to the change that we want? Allow for people to do the change that they want to do, because some people are not ready for it yet. They're not at that space of education or consciousness. It doesn't mean they're better than us or less than us. They're just at a stage of their journey that they are at that type of awareness, right? So I would be very careful to impose our education on everybody else because we think that is the change. Yes, obviously inequality and things like war isn't something but it's an individual journey as well as a collective journey. I don't know the answer. All I know is that there are successful movements that have ordinary individuals, and I'm one of them. I shared that I went to Indonesia last year in April with no support, no mandate, nothing, to bring in a legal article in the internet law that just got passed on the 2nd of January for child online protection that was signed by the President Jokowi. I had no one. And I just did the research, talked to people, got a few people excited, and it became exciting. We did a lot of meetings, etc. Dessy knew about this, and even Edgar and Clemens was part of it at the end. So as I said, it's possible. Just an ordinary person can make change. There's so many stories of what we call positive deviance, and this is what positive deviance is. That just normal people with the same access of resources, the same limitations, they with the same fear, they can go out and actually make change, small and big. It doesn't have to be big gestures either. So that's my invitation to really tap into your own individual education. What do you want to intentionally make a change in the world, not only for yourself, but collectively?
Okay, thank you, Mbak Mila. So Mbak Mila mentioning the education from individual point of view. So the how we can learn from the other by talking to the other. It's also educate. It's also education for all of us. Okay, thank you very much. We'll have some question from the audience again. This is from just now you mentioning. I have Kak Anis mentioning about I would like to ask the story of successful change that you have made. Probably just now Clemens already mentioning about the school in Berlin, and then if you have others examples, probably Bu Dessy, Mbak Mila, or Edgar.
I think I gave mine, my own.
Yeah, already. Okay, Edgar, probably.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
give
example.
you one. I like the idea of how can we start small and then go to ripple effect.
Mhm.
So, for example, Brazil, we had in my region, in São Paulo, I'm from Brazil. We have like around 30,000 schools in just my region, and I work a lot with cooperative games. So, bring this idea of bringing playfulness to the learning system. And we have a problem in many regions. In our regions, they have a huge problem of violence in the schools. Like kids are really damaged, especially after COVID. There's a lot of stress, and so they invite us. So previous COVID, we started a program bringing circle dance, simple like that. We didn't move anything in the educational system, anything in the classes, nothing. But in the break time, for 3 minutes, we just bring one circle dance that you can play with 300 kids. I can send you a link afterwards because we did it in Taiwan, so it's more related, maybe closer to you guys. So I'm gonna send you that, and we teach kids how to do that. At first, few kids would come, not few, like maybe 50, 60 cities because they're brave enough, and the other ones say, no, it's boring, right? But as soon as they see that, something shifts in the whole system of the school. And then the next day, triple of them, because people they're looking from outside. It's so fun. It's simple, very simple. One song, play the song in a circle in a few steps, and a lot of harmony. And the third day, the whole school was there with all the teachers and the servants as well. And then it becomes like, and the whole region, the whole state starts saying, let's do it, all of them. So we took like one kid, one teacher, and one principal, all of them, and we trained them to do that. Few dance, like maybe 12 kinds of dances. It transformed the whole system. The tension collapsed, the violence, the joy of being. So many students say like, oh, now it's fun to come to the school. The school was boring, but just being like for 3 minutes dancing together in the break time, for all together, the sense of community was very powerful. That became a national program. Was the largest UNESCO program in the whole world. There's a lot of gifts, there's a lot of publications, books, but that was very important thing. Like if one single thing, one gift that you know and can transform, can create a whole another atmosphere. This is a good example for me that I can send afterwards.
Thank you, Edgar. Very nice story. Yes, Camila.
Can I just add, Niki, because that
Yeah.
really is a clear example, exactly like Clemens also, that the change doesn't need to be big, right? And change isn't something that it needs to be perfect. It's a trial and error. And then that would lead you whether it's not working or not working. And what is your feedback loop that tells you, oh, you need to find another way? Because the feedback loop will be the whole system itself. that says this doesn't work. In Edgar's play, as he trialed that and it worked. It had ripple effects. So it's a trial and error. There's no perfect change of how to do this. You have to try because the system is constantly changing and dynamic and alive. How do you play with it to just test it? And then you get the information back, whether this works or not. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Mila. Okay, we have other question here. This one probably to Bu Dessy. What is the difference between sociopreneurship and also cooperative or koperasi in Indonesia?
Okay. Yes, in Indonesia, in the cooperative, right? So, the difference is like actually social entrepreneurship. If we look to the literature, actually, and entrepreneurship is also have a different so many what a concept of it. When you talk about the entrepreneurship in a wide terminology, it will talk about it's not about how to build an enterprise. But when you talk about in narrow perspective, that's about the build it to enterprise. That always have a different perspective on it. When you talk about the social entrepreneurship, is although that start. I think that I saw that someone from Ashoka here before. Then it start from that one, and it's actually if you read one paper come from Professor Dessy and said about what is a social entrepreneurship. But so what is the difference with corporations? Before the term of, I did research about social entrepreneurship in Indonesia. We can count it social. So I said it's like not social. The practice of social entrepreneurship, one of it is cooperative, because it's so many type of cooperative in Indonesia is part of social purpose organizations that built by community to support the community, to create a change, social and economic change in the community. That's also the purpose of the social entrepreneurs. So if you're asking me in terms of the practice here in Indonesia, cooperative is part of the social entrepreneurship. Because in Indonesia itself, under the regulations, we don't have a social entrepreneurship. We even don't have the regulation that specifically talk about the entrepreneurship. That's what we really want to advocate the government to put more attention into the social entrepreneurship, and I put it under the law. But still, the practice is there in Indonesia, because I always said, if you look for World Giving Index, Indonesia is most generous country in the world. And because of that one, it also caused the Indonesians, they love to do something good. Then you can see that's like gotong royong itself. Koperasi is also type of the manifestations of the gotong royong in Indonesia. And so that's why it's like what I said here, there is no, in conclusion, I just want to say it's like cooperative is one type of practice social entrepreneurship in Indonesia. So yeah, this.
Okay, thank you, Bu Dessy. Oh, yes, Mbak Mila.
There's a difference that social cooperatives are owned by each member, right?
Okay.
So there's ownership of each member. Social enterprise may not, and the cooperative kind of typically is more focused on the economic value of this, but it has social impact, and the social enterprise is more focused on social value, like and that is what runs the mission of a social enterprise. However, in Indonesia, I don't, as you said, there's no
Regulation.
regulation yet for
Yeah.
social enterprise. So it could be very much a mix of
Yep.
what typically in the world we understand between cooperatives and social enterprise.
Okay. Thank you, Mbak Mila, Bu Dessy. I hope it will answer the question. Pak Arif the magician. Wait, Pak Arif the magician. So the cooperative is part of the entrepreneurship, but the ownership and also the value have differences. Okay. We have one more
Thank you very
question.
much.
Okay, thank you, Pak Arif. One more question. This is from Ibu Felis. What is your perspective if continuous change occurs in a learning environment, as if the situation does not improve without change? How to deal with it? You have any thought, probably, Clemens?
See-
Oh, Edgard, okay.
Let's say, Niki, so I just said, ask you to say it again, please.
Oh, okay. The question is, what is your perspective if continuous change occur in the learning environment, as if the situation do not improve without change? How to deal with it? If
Thank
the
you.
situation does not improve, how we deal with that?
Clemens, are you coming?
Yeah, still also try to understand the question.
Put it in chat so I can answer first.
Okay.
In any kind of learning environment or any environment, when continuous change is not impacting,
Yeah.
again, as I said before, it's trial and error. There's no
Ah.
perfect way of change. So first of all, how do you integrate a system of feedback loop that gives you information every single step? What is the information? Is this change doing something? And it's sometimes change you can't control. This is the illusion of control of humans, because we live in a complex system that dynamically change every millisecond. So you can't attend to every single change. So often that feedback loop tells you that this particular step
Yes.
is either not working or
Yeah.
it's no longer viable, because certain change work, and then after a certain time, because it's constantly moving, it may not change. So what is the feedback mechanism that you have on a regular basis to understand whether that change is evolving to the context, to the timeline, to the people that it needs to impact? And how you deal with it is often just a conversation sometimes, or measurements. Dessy in Sociopreneur has before and after measurement and in between measurement, right? How is this change really impacting not only the people, the beneficiaries, but the ecosystem that those beneficiaries actually sit in? And it's short term, mid-term, long term, the theory of change, but I would go beyond that, right? So there are many different ways. So how do you implement that in your system to have that feedback loop?
Okay.
I would pass it on to Dessy, because Dessy is excellent.
Bu Dessy, any thoughts?
Yeah. The first thing that we have to understand, sometimes when the change is when you see the change so many in the short time, it must be something wrong in the system. So that's a signal. It must be something wrong. Then when you know that it must be something wrong, then you have to see. It means like, okay, maybe the change just for the symptom, not for the substance. So it means like you try to solve the surface, but you're not solving the root cause. So that's why if you see in the system models, maybe you just change the event to make it better. You make up things. You make up things to look great, but then the new events or new deviations come, new problems comes. So it's mean like, okay, then you have to move to find another solution for that. You will do it all the time. So what I meant in here is like, you have to look, if that happened for a long time, it must be something wrong with the system. Then you have to look deeper into that system to understand, am I solving the right problem?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Dessy. Okay, Edgard, please.
I was thinking at first to bring one. There's one that helped me a lot when you go like very synthetic. There's one quote, one African quote that I love. I love that and guides me a lot. And maybe it's kind of a bridge for the next question. I think Nicholas just sent the next question that's very interesting about community. And I kind of try to weave the both of them. This quote says, whatever is the question, Helena, whatever the question, answer is community. Whatever the question, for them, when they say that, whatever the question is, whatever is the problem, whatever the challenge, whatever the issue, when we don't find answer is community. And I love the way that's so dry done. Answer is community. So one way that I love to bring it, when we design solutions, when we try solutions, we always design as a community, And in a way, when we are lucky enough to have like an environment, for example, university, then you can have experts designing. So there's a whole system that everybody knows their role and they know how to walk and how to play. But sometimes, as Nicholas is saying, sometimes when you're in a community, a rural community, a big community, it's a different approach. But they have their own systems of learning. For example, every year they design together, they create for ages, a community festival. A very ancient festival. Or another ways of coming together, cooking together, dancing together. But in order to do that, they have it's a huge way of self-organizing system where they renew relationships. Sometimes people are fighting with each other. They fought the whole year. They are not talking for months. And then into the festival, they have to cook together, And the friends, the ladies, all the ladies around it, they make sure that they're going to be in the same space, cutting onions together. So they have to talk. There's a lot of strategies behind it. So there's a lot of systems of growing together. There's designed in a different way that we do into formal official educational system. And it is educational system. But when you do it together, naturally, the flow of reevaluating, doing better is all embedded in the same action itself. Oh, next year the food could be different because we could do even more. Like, oh, we could decorate. So how to create this feedback looping, we can learn a lot from our elders, from our culture, from our indigenous, and how to bring back to college, to university, to city, to the politicians, is what we do. When you create a playful field, I talk about festivals, not just talk about play games, but I see community festivals, like sometimes national festivals, as ways, as strategies of tiding bounds, coming together, renovate our love to each other, our compromise to each other, cleaning what's not going good, how can we improve the lives of our kids, and so on. So when you do it like community as the source of the answers, when they all can come together to see how you can overcome that, they fix everything. It's not about you trying to evaluate, you trying to see, but inviting them to give ideas is way more playful, more joyful, because it's just under human nature. We do that. We improve life just by celebrating life together.
Yes, thank you very much, Edgard. Very nice. Okay, I think they already messaged me that the time is a bit thin now. So thank you all, Bu Dessy, Mbak Mila, Edgard, and also Clemens. But I will give you each 30 seconds of closing remarks, if you may, to give us your conclusion or your insight for this change for everyone. Maybe Clemens, would you like to go first?
Yes. So yeah, first of all, I'm very, very thankful to be part of this journey of Be the Change, and to create change here together with the community. It's amazing. I'm very excited, and I hope we can create lots of positive stories for the world to show that, yeah, we can flourish together and we can play the change together, that this is possible. And I would remind us to look out for kids as our mentors, because they are the best mentors for us to retrain our brain for the playfulness, because it's there, the homus ludens, the playful human is inside of us.
Thank you, Clemens. Bu Mila, Mbak Mila?
Oh, I just have one quote with
Okay.
Edgard. It's impossible until it's possible.
I see. It's impossible until it's possible. Very nice. Thank you, Mbak Mila. Edgard, please.
I would say we know that our challenges are global. Doesn't matter how local you are. So our actions are local. Our challenges are global. It's all, so we know, our kids know, because they're going to internet, they know, they're fearing about climate. So when you think about that, so I love the two quotes, whatever the question, answer is community. So let's go back to community. But I love the idea that we need to create new, and so we are having this kind of impacts, this kind of wonders and negative things as well, because of a story that we are playing together. There's a story. For example, a story, you have to grow, you have to study hard, you have to go to university, you have to get the best grades, get the best job, make a lot of money, and then you're going to be happy. No? And then find a family, and then, so there's a story that we are following the story, right? These stories, some of those stories, I give just one example of them, they're collapsing. Because this story, for example, says that we have infinite resource, natural resource. Someone told to us that the Earth planet has infinite resource, so we can grab, get whenever we want. Now we know that's not true. Like we don't have infinite resource. So how can we design new stories? Can almost old, like Dessy said that. How can we just help our students to find themselves? The educational system don't say that. Just find yourself. Who are you? What cares about? And then you go through your life, right? So this is a new story that Dessy is telling them. How can we design, we invent new stories, amazing, beautiful adventures, positive stories? Like could be like, okay, let's say that how are you gonna save the whole planet within just 3 years with no money? Like, what if? I'm gonna close with that. What if building the world of our dreams? What if building the world of our dreams could be fast, free, fun, and fantastic?
Wow.
Not a collapse, not a climate change, it's something. But instead of watching that as a fearful thing, let's see, what if we all play together the most amazing adventures of our lives? I'll close with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgard. Bu Dessy, final one?
Yes. First, thanks to everyone in here. And I also want to highlight everyone in this room, 48 of us, have a unique talents and strengths to create and initiate positive change, because we only need to connect, use our patience, engage with the communities like Edgard said, and then advocate for a change. But the most important is just how you use education, how you educate yourself. You can learn from the kids, you can learn from the elders, you can learn from everyone. Like Mbak Mila said, you can learn even from baby. You can learn from other creators as well. So what I mean in here, you have your strength, you have your unique talents, you initiate a positive change, but with the educations, you amplifies the impact. And then because you equip everyone with the knowledge, skills, and values needed, and then you make everyone understand the complex issues, then once you do it, then you will realize you just solve the most complex issues, and then how you tackle the most pressing challenge together. So that's for me.
Thank you, Bu Dessy. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing your valuable insight. I hope this discussion has inspired all of us to recognize our own potential, our own talents, to be the agents of change in our communities. Remember, no act of kindness or gesture of compassion is ever too small. Change is no need to be big, no need to be perfect. You can do trial and error for that. And education is a crucial thing to empower the ourselves, individuals, to become an agent of the change. So I think together we can create a brighter and also more equitable future for all. Make a change, big a change. Thank you for all for joining us. I think I will give it back to you, Dea. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Niki. Thank you so much to the speakers. How was the discussion? Did everyone have fun? I hope you're having fun because it is such a fruitful discussion for me. And thanks to Mr. Niki once again for being such a wonderful moderator. Thank you to Dessy, Mila, Edgard, and Clemens for the super wonderful experience and knowledge that you have shared with all of us in here. So can we agree that it was a super wonderful panel discussion? If yes, give us your thumbs up. I want to see the reactions in here. And also do this if you're on camera so we know. Okay, so now we want to check in on you, the audience. You have been listening very patiently and actively. So let's move on to an interactive session with some of our speakers here. Clemens will lead the first activity. So what will it be? It will be a surprise. So Clemens, the screen is yours, please.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So at the end of this wonderful time together with you, we have a small challenge for you because we are at Be the Change. So we want to create change right now. We want to start to build this momentum, this ripple effect. So, and as we learned today from Edgar and the others, imagine the world of our dreams. To build them could be fun, fast, free, and fantastic. So we will start this right away. So please try to sit in a way that you are ready to solve the challenge. So get your body ready. And if you don't have the camera on, now is the time to do it. That would be very nice because then we can learn from each other. And the challenge is look around you and see all the wonderful resources around you that you can use to create a change. As an example, I have here like a hat that I can take now. And on this hat, you can see future generation. So this will be a reminder of me to solve the future generation to create change. Or you have a music box around that you can use, or a book, or whatever it is. So now you have 30 seconds, stand up and walk somewhere and get something that you want to use to create change. So you got 30 seconds starting from now. Please go. So what can you find? What can you find? Look everywhere. What can you use to create change? And think of your playful self. You only got 15 seconds left. Yeah, I can see the first things showing into the camera. Very nice. And please, if you are able to, open your camera and show what you got, or you can also write it down. Okay, time is up. So please show it to the camera, and please look around what the other people have chosen kind of objects. Okay, we see a smiley, we see a smartphone, we see a flower, and many different things with what we can create change. And maybe you can also write it in the chat, then we can leave with an inspiration of what we can use as resources that are around us now to create change. And then I give further to Mila.
Thank you, Clemens. That was fun. So mine was a bowl and a spoon to make as much noise as possible if I want people to come to me and help me change. So you can do that in your neighborhood. So now some interactive, and we're playing with the chat. So the focus right now is back to you. We would love to hear from you. So what kind of changes that you created in 2024? But before you touch that chat button, I'd like to bring it in a very different way. So we're talking about what changes did you create in 2024? Don't put anything in chat yet. So we would bring the head, the heart, and the feet and the hands in this reflection time. And share with us from right now. I'm going to put it in chat. And don't put anything, just write in chat. Don't put enter yet. So we'll have, when I go to 1, 2, 3, we will have a waterfall of all the reasons why you created that change. So fundamentally, starting with the head, what ideas created the start of your change? Whatever the change initiative was, individual, collectively, starting with the head, start putting it in. Not yet. Don't put enter yet. Just type it in. And when I go to 1, 2, 3, go, we'll have a waterfall of all the ideas that created the change. We're all good? Okay. Type it in. I'll give you 10 seconds. Whatever it is, what created the start of the change that you were impacting in 2024? Right. 1, 2, 3, go. Look at that. Playfulness, snow, moving, walking for the changes, intentionality, attitude, the desire to connect warmly with others, and again, movement. Now we're going to skip the heart until the end. We're going to do the feet. So the feet is all about the feet and hands, basically, is all about what was the change that you created that involved creating, what was the action, right, that you created that created the change? And who supported you? And who else was involved in creating that change? It could be nature, it could be other institutions. You know, what was the action that created the change? I'm going to put this into the chat, the instructions. And again, we're going to do a waterfall. 1, 2, 3, go. E-learning training, traveling to the heart of nature, Raja Ampat, Edgar. I'm now easy in making decision in a blink. Wow, that's amazing. Prioritization. Yes, there was a question of prioritization. Family, helping others, new friends. All right. Any more? Would love to see what action did you actually create in change? Who supported you? Health, family, health support. Connecting with others, having co-founders who share the same vision. Here to you are all the examples where it began and where it ended. Now it's about the heart, because the heart often gets forgotten in change. So what I'd like to invite you to do, instead of writing in chat, is what is an action that you can show as a gesture that depicts, that represent a memorable change? And when you did that, what was it that was memorable for you, right? So I'm not going to put it in the chat. Just what was memorable? What is a gesture that represents something memorable to you and the people that were impacted by your change? So for me was this, just love. I used that. There was something that I did in 2024, and it gave so much love to so many people, right? So let's do it again. All together in a gesture. We're going to take a picture at the same time so we can see. 1, 2, 3, gesture. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Over back to you there. Thank you so much. And thank you. Let's applaud everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm still in mute. So I'm very amazed with everyone in here Thank you so much, Clemens. Thank you so much, Mila, for bringing us deeper into what change can mean to each of us. And yeah, so now we're about to reach the end of our session, but we have one short video for you about Be the Change, which is the main program that we are about to officially launch tonight. And in this video, we will learn more about what Be the Change is about and how to involve in the program. It is also a call for invitation for everyone in here to involve in the program. So, Mr. Operator, are you ready? Let's watch the video. Enjoy.
I'm a change maker.
Yay! Everyone give the gesture that Clemens have said before. So that was Be the Change is about. We're about to begin now the official countdown of Be the Change, but we need your involvement in it. So we only need you to open your camera again, please, if you may this time, and then put your hands like this. Put your hands like this in front of the camera, and then you can open your microphone if you are able. And then after this, there's a video that we will show to you. It's about the countdown. So when the count starts from 3, 2, 1, I want everyone to also say it out loud. So we will start from this gesture. And then when the countdown starts, we can say 3, 2, 1. And then we can shout like, woo, or yeah, whatever you choose. But the point is, we have to make it loud, okay? Are you ready? So now, Mr. Operator, you can share the video. Let's begin. We can put our hands like this, and then we wait. We wait. 3, 2, 1. Yay! Thank you so much, everyone. With that, Be the Change 2024 is officially launched. And to find out more, you can directly visit the website that is in the screen, or you can also scan this QR code, and there's a link in it. This QR codes and link will direct you to participation that you choose to involve in Be the Change. You can choose the right QR code for participants, so you can choose the programs that you want to involve in, or you can scan the left one, that is the campaigners and partnerships. We have 2 forms in here, so you can do that. And then we also have another media communication. The first one is the website. So the right one, you can scan the QR to the bethechange.id, or you can go follow us in Instagram. Our Instagram is @bethechangeid. So Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for spending over 1 hour and 1.5 hours together tonight. So may the spirit of becoming a change maker persist within us, and may diversity continue to bring us together. So, before closing the event, we'll capture a group photo, and I kindly ask everyone to turn on the camera, please, pretty please, and giving time for everyone to get ready to open the camera so we can take a group photo together. Is everyone here already? Okay. And our team will capture the picture. So the first pose is clench your fist like this. Okay, it symbolizes the spirit of volunteerism. Are you ready? So, Mbak Gendis, you can count.
Okay, come on. 3, 2, 1. One.
Okay, the second pose is you can do whatever you want with the gesture, but it has to be something positive and spreading love and radiates positive energy. So are you ready for the second pose? Mbak Gendis, you can count on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Finally, to close our session here, I will recall the gestures again. So please do not turn off the camera just yet. We have to recall the values of Be the Change that I have already demonstrated in the beginning of the session. If you missed it, I can recall it once again. So are you ready? The values of Be the Change. There are 8 values of Be the Change. The first one is that it should be fun, and then move to your right, serve, and then to your left, trust, and then to the front again, empathy, up, impact, and then go down here, it's happiness, and then move your body a little, it's agile. And then the last one, this is the big one, stand up and do the action. So the last one is action. So you get it from fun to action. So are you ready? Let's do it one more time, okay? The first value is fun. You can open your microphone if you want. Fun.
Fun.
Serve.
Serve.
Trust.
Trust.
Empathy.
Empathy.
Impact.
Impact.
Happiness.
Happiness.
Agile.
Agile.
And action.
Action.
Okay, thank you so much for doing this. We had so much fun this night, okay? And then to close this session, thank you so much everyone for coming. I'm Dea, speaking on behalf of the entire team. I apologize for any inconvenience or inappropriate language or gestures during the event. Thank you so much and goodbye. See you on the next event. Everyone can be a change. Power, peace out. Okay.